Glad to be back, healthy, strong. Glad to see everybody back here and getting everything going.
What was your first impression of Ben Johnson addressing the team for the first time, just the first couple days?
Yeah, it was great. Being able to see him get up there, he said something that he said you never forget your first day as a head coach, and he said it's a great day, and let's get this thing rolling. He jumped out there and said a bunch of do's, said a bunch of don'ts, said a president of what we're going to be like as a team, finding our identity and all of that. So we're excited. Obviously, we have to put in the work. Can't be too excited because the work hasn't been done. But definitely excited for what's to come and the future.
How do you feel about the work ahead? It's 5 months from now till the season starts. How do you feel about what that's going to require of you?
Yep.
And the opportunity that presents you?
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think being able to be in this position, being able to have a first year the way I did, ups and downs, and then to be able to come in here, be as confident as I was last year, or possibly even more, and to be able to get here with the group that we have. I really can't wait to get to work with these guys. We got a good group of guys, personality-wise, and then obviously, talent-wise, it speaks for itself. And what some of these guys have been able to do, and some of the key pieces that we added so far to this team. And so, so far it's we've meshed well. These past 2 days of introduction, and now today of our first workout and getting after it. But we're all really excited, and we can't wait to put in the work. Obviously, like I said, we have to do it. It's something that. The time, energy, effort, sacrifice, and that doesn't just mean us putting in time on, on the board, us putting up, up time on, us, being here, working out, lifting, getting stronger, faster. It's also us hanging out in the offseason, building that bond so that, when times do get tough, because it's a long season, as I can say now. It's a long season, and so being able to build that bond off the field, so when times get tough, we fight through it, we get through it, and we keep going as a team.
Yeah,
What impressed you most?
Ben said last week that this offense is going to likely require you to go under center more. At this point of the offseason, what does that preparation look like?
It's just it's the whole thing. It's working. Getting up to the line, and it's like visualizing, like getting up to the line, saying the cadence, being on the center, controlling those things, going over the routes, concepts, the footwork in your head in the off season, so that when those times hit and it's fourth quarter, and you can't think about those things, and you can't focus on those things. It's second nature, second habit, first nature, first habit of doing that, and getting under there, and going through the cadence, going through the huddle sequence, getting up to the line, making checks if needed, or anything like that. So it's practicing those things now, visualizing those things now, and building on those.
Do you get a sense for how Ben is going to push you out of your comfort zone as a coach?
Yeah. Today we had our first quiz as a QB room, and it's not like a real quiz where you go up and write stuff. It's just us. We went over a few things yesterday, talked about a few things, and Ben walked in this morning, flung open the door, made a grand entrance, and then we got to work of him testing us about what we talked about yesterday and things like that. So already first day in and challenging us, and everybody loves a challenge in this sport. It's one of the great things about the sport. Every day is a challenge, and today we got our first one.
The Bears brought in a close connection with Lincoln during your time at Oklahoma and USC. I know it's very early with Ben, but do you have a sense of kind of what that connection is going to be like, and how you two can grow together as head coach and quarterback?
Yeah, I think I have a knack for being able to tell when I vibe with somebody or anything like that, and connect well with somebody. And I would say it was pretty similar feeling from when I met Lincoln 5 years ago now, I guess 6 years ago, which is crazy to say, but 5 years ago. Like I said, a very similar feeling. Obviously, he's different in his own ways and unique ways, but a similar feeling for sure.
How is it different from a year ago? How is it different from a year ago when you came in as a rookie? Sorry, Larry. How is it different from a year ago when you came in as a rookie and you were meeting a new staff then for the first time? What feels different?
This feels different. Obviously, it's the same in that sense. Being around these these coaches and some of these new guys, obviously that's new, and that's how I felt last year. I think some of it for me though is the fact that I've gone through a year. The fact that I had ups and downs, and we stayed strong, and I stayed strong, and I think that's the difference to it so far for me, and the feeling for me. And then obviously, what Ben has been able to do brings some excitement for me. So, those have been the two main things of, I've had a year under my belt now of ups and downs and good and bad and things like that. And then, the excitement of Ben being here and his creativity and all these different things. So, yeah.
What impressed you most about what Ben did in Detroit, and how do you expect that he working with you will specifically benefit you and your career?
Yeah, I think us growing together is key. Starting now, him pushing me key, and I know that, and he knows that. Him pushing me because it's as he says, and as he said before, it's a QB driven league, and so being able to have that position right on every team. That's why that position is so important in draft, or people trying to get the QBs is at this day and age of the game. I would say is because it's so QB driven, and if you have that position right, it helps with a bunch of different things. And so so building that bond, him pushing me and us growing together for years to come is it's gonna be fun. I can't wait, and to be able to help me, learn more about ball, because he's super smart, super sharp, and grow and progress in those ways, so that year four, I'm out there, and it's Ben's obviously still calling, Ben's doing his thing, but it's a Jared thing, where Jared's out there now. He's just he's calling the whole game in a sense when he's out there on the field, and he's been the coach. So yeah.
Caleb,
What's
what's
your-
your in the back. All right, yeah.
What's your understanding of EPA and the things that Ben will require of you to get that number that means a lot to him where it needs to be?
Sorry. Just repeat the question.
EPA is
Yep.
big on Ben's radar. What's
Yep.
your understanding of that, and then what will be expected of you to kind of get that in the sweet spot?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to details, accuracy, details. That doesn't just mean physically and things like that. That means being decisive, and being accurate mentally and sharp mentally, and so and just being on top of it. So I think that starts from it, the decisiveness, and then when you get out there and when you're decisive, and everybody plays a lot better when you're decisive. And there's the QB position is, when you're on the field, is played in gray. And so having everything else that I can have in black and white is a part of that. So that part, and then when you get on the field, and you're decisive, you go out there and you rip, and you're more accurate with the ball. You get to place it where you want. You get to go out there and make checks and be clear minded. So that's the goal, and we'll work towards that, and working on Ben's EPA.
You're not far removed from the college game.
Yep.
What role do you play, if any, in taking a look at who might be able to help you in the draft? And do you have a sense of, maybe not a player, but kind of the ways the team still needs to get better?
I think the cool part is that, yes, I'm not much removed, but I don't think they're taking too much. Like, we have experts in the building of getting certain guys here, and filling those gaps and holes. That's why we have people get paid for that. And mine is to go out there and win some games. But I think there is a sense of it of like, I think we'll be trying to go for the best player that we can get. And you always want to be in that position. That's something that I've kind of learned about, and hearing from the vets and things like that, and just been around this past year. When you draft and be in those positions, you want to be in position to get the best player. And I think right now we're in position to be able to just get the best guy that we think is needed for the team. And I don't know what the needs are. Y'all probably have a better idea than me, but I think the group we have right now is amazing. And so and the holes that we filled through free agency and all of that, I think now is the time through the draft where you get to go and draft guys, the best players, and then get guys to be able to develop them with people like Joe and Darnell and all these different guys. wide receivers, running backs, tight ends. You get to kind of pick your poison and develop them.